Hast du schon mal eine Wehrmachtuniform gewaschen?
Ich wasche doch eine helle Wäsche.
Ah, scheiße.
Ha. Hello, Hunden. Okay, with that out of the way, if you don't know what that means, I guess go Google it. It's German, because in the beginning of this video that's caused a lot of controversy. She spoke in German about her SS, affiliations. But, yeah. I think this whole Rage After Storm thing, I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there on the alt-right. So for a while, I've been critical of the alt-right. But it's always been in private, by the way, because a lot of the time people were okay with the alt-right. They thought they were retarded, but they didn't really criticize their alt-right stuff. They just, I guess, took them as trolls. I don't really take them as trolls because I feel like these people do actually believe what they're saying, which is a bit of an uncomfortable thought for me. So this is why I was originally going to call this my gripe with the alt-right, so it sounds kind of rhymey, but gripe isn't the correct word, so I guess whatever the title is, then that's what it's going to be. But yeah, this is an off-the-cuff, me just kind of speaking on things I know about the alt-right and my problems, so it's not like it can be in-depth. I started off with some interesting conversation to Rage After Storm. She won't see this video, so I'm okay. Unless y'all tweet it out, then I'll feel really depressed, but I won't get mad. So, I've had problems with them for a long time. At least 3 months or more, because believe it or not, I am a bit of a left-leaning libertarian, I guess, if you want to really come up with a label for it. So I am liberal in a way, but also libertarian. And I think a lot of the issues that people have with the alt-right and the extreme left is the authoritarian versus libertarian idea, which is a thing that's happening now. Because there's a lot of us moderates kind of, coming out of the woodwork in our anti-authoritarian thing, and how we're libertarian, but these alt-right people, they don't like the SJWs, but they are also very authoritarian. So it's ironic, in a way, that these alt-right people do not like SJWs because they have the same caricatures as the quote-unquote SJWs. So I just find it funny because, for example, people like Steve Shives, if we're going to take an extremist example, he blocks people that he thinks is dangerous. I'm blocked by Steve Shives, and I haven't even talked to him ever. I just, I follow both SJW, quote-unquote, and non-SJW people. I kind of like to have my head in both conversations, and, Mr. Steve Shives does not like me. But that's okay, because I don't think we'll agree very much anyways, because he kind of is a dickhead about his morals. Which, not gonna lie, I could be a dickhead with my morals too, but I try not to push my ideals on people, because that's being a dickhead. Sorry, that's just extreme dickhead. So, with that, say Steve Shives will block and talk shit about people who don't agree with him, but see, even if Rage is not blocking people, she is constantly calling them not red-pilled and calling them idiots, and yeah, she basically sounds a lot like what she hates. It's kind of ironic, though. You become so against what you hate that you become what you do not like. It's just kind of an irony to me, if I'm being honest. But hey, that's just me, I guess. But my biggest main issue with alt-right is not just the fact that the people believe what they're saying, but the fact that it's so twisted and backwards in a time that we are living in. These people will say, oh, I don't like that these identity politics coming from the extreme left. But see, the problem is, y'all don't like black supremacy or whatever. You don't like LGBT, people being more because see, that they'll talk about how, trenders or whatever is a term that they really like to throw around, because, with the Riley Dennis situation, it's clear that totally works, but honestly, if you take a look in the mirror, you guys are what you are talking shit about, in a way, because guess what? You guys actually are pretty homophobic, not gonna lie. I'm not trying to use buzzwords, but when the buzzwords fit, if the shoe fits, I'm gonna use those buzzwords because, not trying to be a dick, but I made a comment on how people are like really, they call Blair White, for example, the bigger right-wing YouTuber transgender person, they call her a trap, and they talk about how they would go gay for her and stuff and call her a he still in the comments. And a lot of them are like, well, it's science. But see, the problem is that I have with that personally, this is just my morals. If somebody is actually trying to change their chemical makeup of their original sex, their XY, into an XX, well, obviously you can't actually do that, which that's another thing that I have a problem with, is the fact that transgender people know they can't change their actual chromosomes, but they can change everything else, they can change their genitalia, they can, with enough money, of course, and everything else, they can change the other things. And they're doing that because they have an illness, which it's not taboo to say it, gender dysphoria is an illness, and then transgender is not a mental illness. It's not, I'm sorry, but trying to fix your mental illness that you have, which is gender dysphoria, that is not something that I really personally would agree to just misgender somebody who clearly wants to fix their gender. So, before you call me an SJW, that's just my opinion on transgender people, sorry. And then they constantly also talk about how they liked heterosexual Pride Day. And I mean, it's one thing if it was just the joke, but these people, these fucking alt-right people, they actually are, and some people are saying that alt-right's made up by the left. It's not. People call themselves alt-right and alt-light. The alt-light versus alt-right debate is just great. Great quality. But these people are taking heterosexual Pride Day as an actual thing. Not just because you think the gays are doing it. No. These alt-right people actually take this serious. And they constantly tweet about how that gays need to be normal. Okay, heterosexual Pride Day is to promote normalcy. This is literally shit they'd say back in the 60s, guys. You don't see the problem with this, maybe. I don't know. But it's been proven that gay people, it's a natural thing. Of course, you can debate, well, evolution says this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but there is homosexuality in nature, so if that's not natural, then I don't know what the fuck natural is. Because I think naturally there's homosexuals and heterosexuals and bisexuals. Bisexuality hasn't really been studied in animals, but in humans, it definitely occurs. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it does. And they're also sexist. Like, some people literally think that there should not be women presidents because all women are such and such. And they're also racist. It's great. I've actually been in debates with people. I used to think the word neo-Nazi applied, but I don't think it's exactly neo-Nazi. But they are racist. One time I was in a debate, and I sent a thing. It was like a definition of what human, subhuman, and race really is, and like the differences between like race and etc. and what those words apply to. Race does not count as a subhuman thing, like that separates. They're not. And then it was a scientific website, and the person called my source bias. But I bet you they'd be quoting the Daily Stormer like Rage After Storm does, or etc. as their sources, so, not biased. Nope. And I used to take them as trolls and as memes, just joking around. These people exist, and they really are starting to become a thing, and it's kind of a problem. I myself do not like identity politics, okay? And when it happens on the right or the left, I have a problem with it. And I used to suck conservative cock. Don't be triggered if you're conservative. I don't care. I have friends that are. And I support y'all because we probably agree on some things, because nobody's totally right or totally left. But see, for a long time, I would only just push that to the side that there was this racist group. And it's there, okay? It's prevalent. It's a problem when this kind of stuff happens. And I think that no matter what you believe, you might agree on something, but if you agree with somebody, you have to also call out something that's just not okay. Being extremely homophobic and extremely racist, not exactly an attractive trait to have on your skeptic, quote-unquote, skeptic community. So that's why I'm not really in the skeptic or the for, so when it comes to like feminism and stuff, I don't agree with the things they say always, but I don't really critique. But if I see something really dumb, then I'll speak on it. That's with both sides of the coin. And the alt-right and the extreme left are kind of on the same boat. They are very, very similar in mannerisms and extremism, turns out. And I think that's just my biggest thing, is that they promote traditionalism to the extreme, that it just becomes really, really disturbingly traditional. And it's not that I'm wrong. I hate people that are traditional. Like, I have a friend who holds doors for me and everything else, and he's really, really nice. And I really appreciate that traditionalism. I don't hate traditionalism. But there should be some kind of standard that it can go too far. Like Rage After Storm's video on gender roles. I think that that's BS. I don't think that gender roles have to be full enforced, because honestly, everybody's a little bit feminine and a little bit masculine, and I think it should be okay to express either or. So, I don't know. And plus, I'm just a really shitty cook, so if we went to traditional gender roles again, I would never get a man. Sorry. And also, I wouldn't be able to be bi, so that's great. I love traditionalism, don't you? I love it. Oh, man. And also, I'd have to wear a dress every day. You know, and also, I probably wouldn't be able to express my opinions like this. Express them. I would have to express it to other people, but I'd have to be really, really quiet. I couldn't talk online, probably. Because, you know, back in the 50s, great time for women. Well, actually, I guess it kind of was, because this is when gender roles started to be taken off. But for a while, it was very, very strict. And it caused problems. You couldn't participate in sports and everything else. And I guess if you want to call those people subhuman for wanting to do sports, I guess that's your prerogative, but I don't know. When I was a little kid, I never really cared about gender roles, and I still don't now. When I was little, I played a lot of baseball and basketball, and I don't really like sports now, but back then I was really into it as a little kid, like 8 years old, and I think that it's more healthy to just let your kid do what they want instead of enforcing a gender role on them. Which, they exist for a reason, I understand that argument, but you shouldn't force it onto a kid, I don't think, at a really, really young age. Just like how we shouldn't force, like, for example, those couples that like to force their kid to be gay. I don't like that. Same with how if you force your kid to be super straight. I don't agree with either of those ideas. So yeah, that's just my like main problems with the alt-right, is that their gain in power and in relevancy, I mean, I can't speak, but they will never, I don't think, ever have power like the extreme left has, but they definitely are having some kind of influence, and I don't really like that. Granted, I think that they should have their platform, but I don't like the fact that there's more and more alt-rights by the day. It makes me really, really uncertain about things. So yeah, that's just my main thing. If you agree, great. If you disagree, great. Tell me down below why you disagree with me, why you love the alt-right, and the alt-right is God. Fuck the alt-lights. Nuts. If you have any kind of problems with what I said, then I guess just criticize me all you want, but this is just my thought dump. It's not really scripted or anything, obviously. I just thought dumped on it, so there's my opinion on the alt-right and my problems with them, so if you ever want to hear the extreme left problems, I'll talk about it, but it's very similar to what I said about the alt-right here, so yeah. Adios! See you in some video I make. I don't know what video, but some video. Something important, I guess, if I thought dump again.